I'm ecstatic the Mac is back, and what better event than to grace the White House lawn for a straightener. What I do best. I'm very, very excited, very eager, very motivated.
Dana White stunned fans when he revealed that Conor McGregor might actually be serious this time about stepping back into the octagon.
He and I have been talking nonstop, and he's like, I'm dead serious. I want this. You know, I'm training. I'm back in the pool.
For years, people roll their eyes every time McGregor teased a comeback, but according to the UFC boss, the Irishman has been calling him constantly and swearing he's all in. And the craziest part, he wants to headline a UFC card at the White House in 2026. The idea alone sounds unreal, but Conor has been dropping training footage, telling the world he's back in the testing pool, and making it clear he wants one more massive stage before he hangs up the gloves. Still, fans have been skeptical. It's been over 4 years since he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier, and every promised return since then has collapsed under the weight of injuries, distractions, and sudden changes of plans. Many assumed his fighting career was done, especially after he briefly shifted gears and jumped into politics.
Who do you think ends up on that card, if you had to guess? Because I think this is the first time that Conor McGregor is... There's how many years has it been talk of him actually fighting, right?
Yeah, but
this is the first time he's back in the testing pool.
For months, McGregor tried his hand at running for the presidency of Ireland. He had the bravado, the platform, and plenty of headlines, but in the end, the campaign frizzled out. The rules required a certain level of political backing he simply couldn't secure, and Conor admitted it was time to step away from the race, saying it was a decision made with his family after realizing the system was stacked against outsiders. He may have pulled out, but he wasn't about to disappear from the spotlight. Instead, he doubled down on his fighting ambitions.
The Notorious is stepping back. Conor McGregor has officially withdrawn from the Irish presidential race. Dropping the news on social media, McGregor revealed it was a tough decision, but the right one for now. He confirmed the choice was made after deep conversations with his family, emphasizing this was an easy decision. While he's out of this race, he's not out of the game completely, hinting at a future run.
That timing makes his possible UFC comeback even more believable. With no presidential race to juggle, Conor can finally focus on training without the weight of political drama. And if there is one thing he thrives on, it's being part of the biggest spectacle possible. That's where the White House event comes in. UFC has never staged something on that level, and McGregor seems determined to be the centerpiece. Of course, if Conor really does return, there's one man waiting at the front of the line, Michael Chandler. The American lightweight hasn't hidden the fact that he still feels unfinished business with McGregor. Years ago, they coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter, and the fight between them was supposed to happen shortly after. But delays, injuries, and eventually McGregor's withdrawal shattered those plans. Chandler, meanwhile, kept moving forward, fighting Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett while staying ready for the call that McGregor might finally return.
I'm very happy that it's June. It was on in July, now it's a month earlier, even better. Bring it to April, why not? Let's celebrate the birthday early. I celebrate my birthday months in advance.
Possibly White House, Conor McGregor.
That's a definitely.
That's awesome.
For sure, that's my event.
That is your event. That is.
You know, people talk shit about Conor. I'm telling you, I've been in the fucking trenches with Conor. Conor is a guy that has fought injured. Conor is a guy that a fighter has fallen out, and we slid in a stylistically bad matchup for him. He doesn't care. He literally will fight anybody.
But does he care enough to actually make a fight right now? Like, is he actually, when's the last time he fought? It's been,
he and I have been talking nonstop, and he's like, I'm dead serious. I want this. You know, I'm training. I'm back in the pool. I'm doing all the shit. So we'll see. As we still got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go till February, till we start making this card. So we'll see how it plays out.
Now, with this White House card in the horizon, Chandler feels the stars might finally align. He believes there is no matchup that makes more sense than him against McGregor, especially given their shared history. He points out they would be the only two coaches from that season of The Ultimate Fighter who never fought each other despite being in the same division. That in itself feels unfinished. And while Chandler is realistic about the uncertainty of McGregor's return, he insists this time feels different. Part of Chandler's confidence comes from the magnitude of the White House event itself. It's not just any fight card, it could go down as the most historic night in UFC history. Every fighter under contract wants a slot on that card, but Chandler argues he's the safest bet for the promotion. He's never pulled out of a fight, never missed weight, and always brings fireworks when the cage door closes.
Dana said they're not going to start matchmaking until next year, but like, where's your head at in terms of your return to action?
You know, I think obviously that's a fight that I want. I want the White House. You know, first and foremost, I want the White House. Ideally, if it becomes Conor, that would be awesome. You know, obviously we have some animosity or some unfinished business. Once again, I just said there's not really animosity. I got respect for him. He's got respect for me, but we do have an unfinished business. And he has, you know, expressed interest. You know, when he put out that meme of me and him, I guess you could call it a meme. It was AI. You know, it was me and him. You know, he's called me out on Twitter and said we have unfinished business, and we do. We have unfinished business. We would be the only fighters not to fight after the Ultimate Fighter who were in the same weight class.
He also knows that Conor thrives in big spectacles. McGregor has always aimed for the brightest lights, the biggest checks, and the kind of fights that break record. It's his brand, and that's exactly why Chandler believes this event is tailor-made for him. For Chandler, fighting McGregor on the White House lawn would not only settle their unfinished rivalry, despite all the optimism, Chandler admits he was once skeptical too. It's been a long time since Conor last competed, and there were stretches where it felt like the comeback talk was nothing but smoke and mirrors. But hearing from people close to McGregor and seeing him pull out of politics to shift focus back to training gave Chandler reason to believe. And even if it isn't against Conor, Chandler insists he'll fight in that card no matter what. He wants his name attached to history.
Conor and I, it makes sense. I did my job. I signed on the dotted line. I've still never pulled out of a fight, never missed weight. The most important thing about this White House card, and whether I am a shoe-in for it or not, when you're building a card of this magnitude, it's not necessarily even about putting on the best fight. It's about putting on the best fights that are the most reliable. Which fighters and which matchups, which marquee contests are going to happen on the White House lawn that have an almost virtual certainty of actually happening. In this crazy sport, there are no guarantees, but I'm about as sure as a guarantee as you possibly could be. Like I said, never missed weight, never pull out of a fight. And if I can walk to the octagon, if I can physically make it to the octagon, I'm showing up that cage, that octagon door is closing, and I'm putting on a show for the fans. I think we're closer now than we ever have been. I've always said if you're a betting man, don't put money on him necessarily coming back, but now this changes things a lot. In my heart of hearts, I think I'm fighting Conor McGregor at the White House, and that sure does make a ton of sense for a multitude of reasons.
Conor McGregor's rumored to come back 2025. Do you think we'll see the same Conor McGregor return to the UFC?
No way.
I don't think so, no.
The same one? Never.
Every time he's in front of a camera, he's at 100 miles an hour. I don't know if we'll see him again, to be honest.
Definitely not. I don't think he's going to come back.
I don't even think we'll see him, really, because he's been pulled in every single direction.
He's a fake fighter. He fakes all the time to come back. What he is.
Conor was on his prime, one of the best guys in the world, you know, so, but now it's not his time. His time is gone.
Give $100 million to any fighter, you'll see a different one in the next fight.
I don't think so. He has so much money. I think the fire in the eyes he lost.
I believe we'll see him fight, and I still believe he's really good. I don't know if we'll ever see the same prime Conor.
You think if you had 100 mil, you can pay the same in return?
You'd never see me again, bro.
Okay, no, that's honesty.
McGregor has never been short on rivalries though, and while Chandler is the logical opponent, his name still draws hate from old enemies. Daniel Cormier recently reminded everyone just how deep the hatred still runs between McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Even years after their infamous brawl in 2018, Khabib refuses to speak Conor's name. He simply calls him that guy and makes it clear the disdain hasn't faded. Cormier recounted how during their fight, Conor tried to downplay things as business, but Khabib snapped back that it was deeply personal. The feud was never just about titles, it was about family, respect, and cultural lines that McGregor crossed, and for Khabib, beating him was personal justice.
Him and Khabib really didn't like each other. That's you know, sometimes you're like, oh, we just selling the fight, but it seemed that it was a little more to it. Like Khabib sincerely and genuinely did not like Conor.
He won't say his name still today. He still does not say his name.
Because of what he said about his religion and about his dad.
He still won't say his name. Last week he did an interview in New York. He says, this guy, he'll never say his name. He hates him. Dude, they're in the octagon and Conor goes, he whispers after the third round, after Khabib's, it's just business. Khabib goes, no, it ain't.
Even though Khabib has retired, turned down massive offers to return, and seems content with life outside the octagon, his lingering anger toward McGregor is proof of some kind of impact the Irishman has had. Love him or hate him, no one in combat sports stirs emotions like Conor. That's partly why comparisons always surface when new stars rise. Ilia Topuria, the undefeated UFC champion, has been trying to poke at boxing star Terence Crawford. Topuria sees himself as the next crossover name who could test his skills against a boxer. Crawford, though, isn't buying it. He's made it clear he doesn't even know much about Topuria and doesn't care to fight him. When pressed, Crawford dismissed any comparisons between Topuria and McGregor, saying it's night and day. In his view, McGregor was in a league of his own when he fought Floyd Mayweather in 2017 because he brought money, attention, and global eyes like no one else in MMA. Crawford flat out doesn't see Topuria on that level.
He's not nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor. Let's be real. Stop it. Don't ever compare him to Conor.
Honestly, you walking out to his song, did you not know that that was the song he always walks out to?
To be honest, I never even seen this dude fight. I ain't even gonna lie. You know, I'm not worried about that guy at all. You know, it's crazy how, you know, things work, you know. I didn't even know who he was. When he seen me at the UFC, he came up and shook my hand saying, "What's up?" to me. I didn't even know who he was, you know, but then I see him online talking about he had knocked me out and in the first round and this and that and this. Well, if you wanted to fight me, you had the opportunity to tell me like, "Hey man, I want to fight you. What's up?" Like, that's fake. You know, if I don't like somebody, if I want to fight them for whatever reason, I would have been like, "Hey, what's up, man? What you think about me and you fighting?" I'm not gonna go hide behind, you know, the keyboard and things like that, and then be like, "Oh, I knocked this dude out, this and that and this."
Dana White seems to agree, at least when it comes to allowing fighters to dabble in boxing. He famously gave McGregor the green light to box Mayweather, but he doesn't appear interested in letting Topuria do the same. When asked about the possibility, White shot down the idea, making it clear he doesn't want another crossover spectacle right now. Topuria might be confident, but White's focus remains squarely on keeping him in the octagon.
We have UFC lightweight champion Ilya Topuria saying he's going to knock out Terrence Crawford. Can we expect some crossover boxing matches like you did with Mayweather-McGregor moving forward?
I certainly hope not.
That brings things full circle to McGregor. Despite years of false starts, broken bones, and side quests, the Irish superstar continues to dominate headlines. Fans may doubt him, rivals may dismiss him, and critics may say he's finished, but when Dana White insists that McGregor is finally serious, the UFC boss says Conor has been relentless in telling him he's training and he's ready for one last massive show.
Conor's not coming back, bro. Conor's done. I saw Conor hit somebody the other day again. He be hitting random people now, man.
But isn't that indicative of him wanting to come back? He want to get back in there.
Sucker punching people.
With all that money, he's just hitting people. You know he got too much money because you know he's getting sued. He like Oprah, million for you, million for you. Every time he feel like he want to hit somebody.
You don't think there's a chance for Conor to come back?
I think Michael Chandler getting beat on by Charles Oliveira the way he did makes it more likely that he would come back to fight Chandler. He can only fight the right guy though. A guy that is really good and willing to stand and trade with him. Then he might be able to get in there and fight.
The timeline is still long. The White House card isn't expected until June 2026, and White doesn't even plan to start matchmaking until February. A lot can happen between now and then, and nothing is guaranteed until contracts are signed. But for the first time in years, the buzz around McGregor's comeback feels more real than ever. Whether McGregor truly makes it back into the cage or not, his ability to command attention hasn't faded one bit. If the UFC does manage to pull off an event at the White House card with Conor McGregor headlining, it would not only be one of the most historic fights in MMA, but also the ultimate reminder of how, even after years away, McGregor remains the sport's biggest showman.